Hey, my name is Terry Edwards. I am a frequency therapist and a nutritional educator, and I am currently working on certification for a master level holistic nutrition counselor. And today I want to go over a vitals report with you on the AOScan so that I can explain some things to you so that you might understand better how to read one for yourself. On the right hand side, you're going to see a gray column. This column is what is off on the initial scan. And then after it scans, the program balances and optimizes for you. So it kind of pulls from things that are in a really positive state to take some of that and add to things that are really out of balance and kind of add some energy there so that it balances out and that your body functions better. So one thing I need to explain is you're going to see red dots and green dots. Green dots are good. That means everything's balanced with that. You're not going to have any problems if you eat it. You're not missing anything from nutrition from those foods. If you see double reds, like I have there on Emmental cheese, I'm not even sure what that is. Those double reds don't mean that you've eaten that and you have a sensitivity to it necessarily. Because I don't eat dairy. And occasionally I might eat sheep cheese and goat cheese, maybe once a month. So if I see something that's a single red, such as, for instance, say the sheep cheese, I'm going to pay attention to that over the next few scans that I do and see if it hangs out or if it was just because I did eat some of that one day this week and it's been off since. So I just want to kind of keep an eye on that and see if a pattern develops. If I see two reds, I can guarantee you without a doubt on high inflammation foods like dairy and grains and meats and sometimes nuts and seeds, if they're not properly prepared, I can guarantee you your body isn't going to feel great when you eat them. So one thing I'd like to note about fruits is, if you note up here the time of day, I took this scan at 6 o'clock this evening, and that's not the time of day I would typically be eating fruit. And this scan's telling me, hey, look, fruit's not going to benefit your body right this minute. I actually ate supper at about 5:30, so my body really probably doesn't want any food right now. But the morning when you first wake up, the best way to break your overnight fast is with a breakfast that is made from fruit. And that could be in the form of a smoothie or whole fruits. Doesn't really matter. Fruits metabolically work with your body in the mornings because your body has slept overnight and it is cleaning out toxins until about 11 a.m. This is just the way the body functions, and everybody's body functions this way. So the best thing to eat during that time is fruit. That's simple to digest, and fruit also continues to help your body clean toxins out. And those things just really need to focus on nutrition, and it's important to pay attention to the body and what it needs at what time of the day. So typically I would normally eat fruit in the morning, and I don't typically eat anything other than fruit until lunchtime. Then I'll eat a cooked meal of a whole plant-based foods meal that's probably between 1 and 2. And then sometime later in the evening, I'll either have a glass of vegetable juice or I'll have a salad. Something that's easy to digest, doesn't burden my liver with a lot of things to digest. It doesn't burden my digestion if I eat raw food and eat light for an evening meal. And the benefit to that is your digestion can keep you from sleeping well, and it can put stress on your body if you're eating too much. And you really want your body, when you're sleeping, to focus on resting and restoring and cleaning things out in the early morning. So if you're eating a heavy meal in the later part of the day, your body has a lot of work to do. So it's going to be working when you're sleeping instead of resting. And it's just not an optimal situation for your body. So things to keep in mind as you're planning your meals for the day. So here I have grains. I don't have anything off on baker's yeast or brewer's yeast. If those things are showing off either 1 or 2 red bubbles there, that's going to indicate some candida is going on. My body doesn't react well to grains at all, so I don't really eat a whole lot of grains unless they are sprouted. And that's not very often either. Usually that would be brown rice for me. My body doesn't like spelt very much either. Occasionally, if I've gone a few days and spelt hasn't shown up as a bubble, I might be brave and try some sprouted spelt flour, making something with some vegetables and some kind of flour, as in like a veggie fritter or something. But then without hesitation, the spelt shows back up. So it's only when I'm kind of tired of eating everything else. Legumes are good for replacement for meats because they're high in proteins and actually a little more easy to absorb the protein out of and the nutrients out of than meats are. Meats are always off for me. They're high inflammation foods. Ever since I had Lyme disease, that was about, 7, 8 years ago now. Ever since I had Lyme disease, I really had to cut meat out because I just had too much inflammation with it. And it still shows up on my skins even though I don't eat it. And yes, I have occasionally put it to the test. And when I do, I end up with double reds instead of single reds. So it's not that I need something out of it. My body is just still saying, hey, your inflammation's high. You're not going to feel good if you eat this. You see seafoods on there. Same deal there. I don't know where trout's coming in. I haven't eaten any of that, but I did have salmon for supper. We have fish a few times a week to fill in nutrition gaps, and it's very good to have fish a few times a week for the omega-3 fatty acids. So the next thing is nuts. I had some cashews earlier. Occasionally I see issues with the cashews. Let's see. Not showing very much off in seeds. Now, if you're looking at seeds on your scan, don't consider this only as the whole seeds. If you're not familiar with what rapeseed is, that's canola oil. Or they use the seed from rapeseed to make canola oil. I don't eat canola oil, but you also want to pay attention to oils of those foods. You got spices. Sometimes you're going to see with this issues with things. Cocoa probably would not be a good idea for me this time of day. I wouldn't sleep real well. I could either muscle test these things that are showing up as double reds. And if that's something that interests you, I can show you how to do that. I can teach you how to do that, or I can do it for you. I do offer that as a service to my clients. Spices sometimes show up because of other issues in the body, and there's way too many of them here for me to get into. Ginger, that's probably showing up because I've got some inflammation going on right now. Licorice kind of helps with inflammation. Thyme down there is a good herb to help cleanse some things out. Come to the vegetables. Beet for me and asparagus tend to show off a bit, and those are ones where I can eat them and they'll balance back out. So I need those things. You just kind of have to use yourself as a guinea pig on this, especially if you don't know how to muscle test. And these foods don't fall into inflammation markers. So you could also, things to keep in mind, you could, if this is something you've eaten and you show up a red or a double red, you could be reacting to say, some pesticides that are on it, or maybe a vegetable wax. All things to keep in mind. Or if things aren't organic and they're GMO foods, they could be showing up because you are reacting to something related to that. Let's see. Spinach is off, which makes me think, okay, I need to check my oxalates and make sure I'm keeping that in mind. Eggs always show up for me, even though I don't eat eggs. That's why I quit eating eggs, because they didn't make me feel good. And then when I got AOScan, it kind of made me realize, okay, yeah, my body just really doesn't like what's in eggs. It rotates. It'll be egg whites or egg yolks off, or both. So actually this is showing up in it pulled something from that to balance something else. But I know personally for myself, there's some foods that when I eat them, I just don't feel good. So it's in my best interest just to not eat those foods. And eggs is one of those things for me. HDL and cholesterol stuff, it is pulled from that balanced level when it initially scanned to help balance out some things that were more off. I've got some albumin showing up. That's dealing with blood. Oh, here's something I can show you. If you're not sure what something is, some of these, you can click on it. Just touch the word there, and you can click on it, and it will give you a description of what that word is and how it functions in the body, which is pretty cool. CBC count is showing things that, guess what, show up on a CBC on a blood test. And it's pretty accurate. A lot of people have put it to the test and actually done a scan on themselves right before having a blood draw, and they saved the scan from that time in their email. And then when they got their CBC results in from the lab, they compared them, and it was alarmingly similar. So it's pretty cool that this can show you some of those things and just kind of educate you on what's going on in your body without you having to pay for blood work. Again, if you don't know what some of these things are, you just click on it and it'll tell you. But if you don't get anything when you click on it, I've noticed you can do this. You can hold down on the word, and down here at the bottom of the screen, after it highlights it, you can kind of do a little Google search. So you can kind of play around with that and see what kind of information you get there too. It shows you omega-3 fatty acids are out of balance for me. You want omega-3 fats are really good fats. You want to make sure you're eating those. Those are good for your brain and going to help your brain function optimally. I know we all need that, right? Omega-6s, you need some omega-6 fatty acids, but you need more omega-3s, and a lot of people don't get those omega-3s that they need. Okay, here's a controversial section that you can opt to leave off of your scans if it's an issue for you, or in the future if you decide to do this for a business, if you have any clients that may have issues with chakras or meridians. You can leave those off the scans. I do not believe all of the things that other cultures teach to be 100% true. And I also don't believe that everything the culture that I live in knows everything that's truth in life either. So I like to look at the chakras and the meridians. I like to look at the information here and see. I'll blow this up so you can see it. I don't pay any attention to what it says under as the description, okay? What I'm looking at is the part of the body where you see the dot. There are things off in those areas if you see a red or a double red, okay? So here's what I do with these scans. So third eye chakra is, I'm sorry, no, not third eye. Crown chakra is showing off in the initial scan. All my chakras balanced. So what I'm looking at here is descriptions. So crown chakra's off, and things related, physical issues related to that are migraines, brain tumors, coma, amnesia, nervous system and muscular system disorders, mental issues, and skin disorders. I got a lot of skin things going on right this minute because I've been eating clean for a week and trying to really hone in on my nutrition and not overeating, making sure I'm eating balanced meals, and my body is getting rid of some junk. So I've got a lot of things coming out of my skin as far as acne and things like that. Let's see. Another one that's off is heart chakra and then sacral chakra. So heart chakra, high blood pressure, breathing difficulties, circulation problems, shortness of breath, chest pains, disorders of the heart, tension between the shoulders. I quit driving a truck a week ago and I still have some tension between my shoulders. It was a very stressful job for me physically, as well as being just stressful from not getting enough sleep. So I'm still catching up on that. The other one that was off was sacral chakra. So look at issues with that are uterine and bladder problems, sexual difficulties, impotence, lack of flexibility, sciatica. I do have a lot of lack of flexibility from sitting in a truck for, way too much time each day. Sciatica and lower back problems. Occasionally I have problems with my large intestines. I did when I was driving because I just wasn't moving enough. So I kind of do the same thing with meridians. You kind of got to go up and down trying to look at things here, but I'll just pick one out and show you what I'm doing, and you can do that on your scans a little more in depth. So same deal here. I don't hold to what all the meridian spiritual meanings are. I have my own spiritual beliefs. I'm a Christian. I don't hold to what these other cultures teach about this, but I do know that there are links between your emotional and physical health. And if you ignore the emotional health, you are never going to heal. I'll look at large intestine first. And that's probably the only one I'll show you of these, just so you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Physical links are large intestine, lymphatic components of intestines, intestinal flora, food allergies, constipation, diarrhea, also affects teeth and sinuses. I have some sinus issues going on, and my lymph system is trying to clean out. Emotional issues connected there. Fear of loss, self-esteem, guilt, and avoiding connections. Yeah, that first one just hits dead on for me. I do have some fear of loss right now because we've gone back to one income and I'm trying to get my business up and going. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what is connected between the physical and emotional, and gives you things to focus on and think about how to clear things out of your emotional storage tank, if you will, to help your body then be able to focus on the physical things. You've also got some gastrointestinal functions. Pretty much everybody I see has hydrochloric acid production off. And y'all, I hate to tell you this, but it's kind of preventing us from healing, because lack of hydrochloric acid in the gut, or insufficient hydrochloric acid in the gut, will prevent your body from being able to kill off pathogens and parasites and any food sensitivity or food allergies that might show up that might affect your gut and then lead to leaky gut going on. So you want to make sure you're supplementing there with hydrochloric acid. One good way to do that is taking a shot of apple cider vinegar in the middle of your meal. Some people that doesn't work well for. I'm one of those people. It makes my mouth feel raw on the inside for days when I do that. So I'm actually about to try to find an HCl pill to see if I can boost my hydrochloric acid levels in my body and help clear some things out a little better. Inflammation there, cytokine activity is off, and I told you before I've been dealing with some inflammation. Again, all these things, if you don't know what they mean, just click on them and you can look down here and see what it is, or that's if you hold down on it. If you just click on it, it'll give you a description of what it is. Some insulin things going on. Same thing with pancreas. That's going to be dealing with insulin levels. Don't take that to mean that I'm diabetic by any means. I'm not. I just have some things in my body that still need to be worked on. I could benefit from some amino acids, and it's balanced all those out, which is good. So I don't need to take any of those amino acids at the moment. I probably just need to make sure I am taking more of my supplements that, like, I use algae for a multivitamin, and it contains pretty much all the amino acids necessary for life. So, digestive acids, digestive enzymes, these things are good to pay attention to, especially eating. When you eat something cooked, it's a good idea to take digestive enzymes to help your body digest food a little better and assimilate nutrients. It gives you an idea of what macro minerals and micro minerals are out of balance in your body. MTHFR gene. This is a big one to pay attention to, especially when you're looking at your food sensitivities. If you see the nightshades on there, and just for purposes of video length, I'll let you look up what nightshades are and what foods to avoid eating if you have nightshade sensitivity, or if you have the MTHFR gene showing up on your scans. I'll let y'all look that up. But you can kind of compare those to what's showing off in your food sensitivities. And definitely, if you see this MTHFR gene show up, you want to pay attention to those things, so that you can have your body functioning optimally. Got some vitamins that are a bit off, but everything balanced out when it optimized, so that's good. Physical function, hypoxia. That's a big one. I haven't felt myself today. I felt kind of tired and like I haven't had enough oxygen. So actually, I need to go for a walk, and see if I can boost my oxygen levels. Vagal tone is something I'll address in another video. That's very important to helping your body heal from disease and dysfunction. I have some discs in my neck that kind of stay out. Hopefully they will improve now that I'm not driving. All these bone things are related to that for me. Looks like I've got some bone mineral density that was off, and osteoclast function. I'd look and see what that is and see if I can make some adjustments to things there. Cranial nerves, these are big ones to show off when you have somebody who is having some nervous system issues. What I can do is take these reports, and if things aren't balanced from here once it's optimized, then I actually have some other modalities that I use to reset the nervous system and reset these nerves so that your body can function better. Different nerves being off will have different effects for each person, but this is a very effective treatment, or I really shouldn't say treatment. This is a very effective reset that I can do to help the body balance and stay functioning properly. You see cardiovascular things. Pretty much most of my stuff there is balanced. There's a few things off. Nothing that a good walk or a run won't help out. Collagen things. Some endocrine glands. And now we have a new scan that just became available today that actually shows us hormones in the body on a deeper level than what's down here. Eye health. My eyes have been bothering me a lot lately, and I'm about to start on a protocol that involves some specific frequencies and a red light called the illuminator that some people have been doing this protocol and improved their vision so much that they were able to even one get out of wearing one contact. So they were able to completely eliminate vision correction in one eye, and they're still working on the other one. I can actually, on the new scan that shows up for hormones, I can look at that. It's not on this vital scan, and see what percentage level it's at, like how, what percentage it's off, which is pretty cool. New little addition they've got. Immune system, you can kind of see what's going on. Immunoglobulins, those are always going to be inflammation and sensitivities to like foods and environmental factors. Each one kind of has its own thing there, and it's not shown on there, but those are things you kind of have to investigate and compare. And I offer that service as well as trying to figure out what each of these things mean and what to do to help your body and what to avoid in order to prevent these from getting worse and to help your body function optimally. Some kidney stuff showing up probably because I'm trying to clean things out with eating better. Bile stuff, detox things. Well, actually, that's balanced afterwards. I have some things going on here that don't really make, nothing stands out with these things for me, but they're balanced out, so I'm not going to worry about them too much. Skin melanin, I don't think I've seen that one too much on me, so it's not something I'm going to worry about too much. I'll just watch it over the next couple of scans, and then if it continues to show up, I'll investigate it a little bit further. Thyroid function, doesn't surprise me that it's off a little bit. Again, lack of sleep, getting up at 2 a.m. didn't help how anything in my body functioned. So this is something I've been watching for a while, and I'm about to delve into seeing if I can balance that out a bit better now that I'm getting some rest. I told you earlier I was having some sinus issues, so here's some allergy issues showing up with just things outside, pollens and things like that. Bacterial diseases. Again, this is something that HCl comes in handy as far as helping your stomach be able to eliminate these things like they should. Borrelia, and let's see if any of the others are showing up. Borrelia, Babesia. Let's see if there's any others. Not on this particular section right here, but the Borrelia and Babesia are co-infections of Lyme, and they show up on mine all the time, even if I'm not having active inflammation going on from it. So I'm still working on that. Just because you see something on here doesn't mean you have this. Like, for instance, like Lyme is not showing up there. I've had Lyme disease and I still have some issues from it, but it's not showing up. I don't have meningitis. Some of these I don't have a staph infection, but the frequencies that my body is giving off is showing that those things are unbalanced in my body. I may not have, any major active issue going on with them. But your bodies have cell memory. If you've been exposed to things, if you had relatives in the past that were exposed to things and passed that gene cell memory onto you, then these things can show up in your scans as well. And you may not see them clear out unless you address some emotional issues, actually, because these show up as that too. Lots of toxin things on the scan that you can look at. Again, some of these you'll think, I'm not really sure why that showed up. Like tobacco, nicotine. I've never had tobacco in my life. But my husband has on and off vaped or smoked. And so occasionally I was subject to secondhand there. And a lot of these things, you're just exposed to them being out in the world. So, and like drugs, medication. I don't take medication, haven't in many, many years. A lot of these things, they show up because you're exposed to them and it's affecting your body. Heavy metals, yeah, I have no doubt that I have a lot of them showing up too. It's in foods we eat because those things are put in fertilizers and things like that, that it's not really good for us, but sometimes there's not much we can do about it. But this AOScan helps us keep it balanced. So you can see your molds on here. If you're exposed to mold, it will show up on here, no doubt. And parasites, same deal. But y'all, I want to stress to you, balancing them is okay, but there is a specific order that you have to go through when you are dealing with parasites and bacterias and molds. There's a specific order that you have to address things in the body, because you don't want to start just killing these things and they just run up to your brain, because they will. And then you're going to have a lot of neurological issues. So you don't want to fuel that fire. And it's like, if you look at it like a funnel, if the funnel gets stopped up and you're not clearing the plug out of the bottom of the funnel, what happens as things just get poured in? It just goes up. That's kind of what happens, is it just kind of, the junk just goes up to your brain because it has nowhere else to go. Well, what goes in that blood and lymph and all that stuff that's, moving through your body, circulating through your brain? Well, you got parasites, you got mold issues, you've got bacteria. It's all traveling up there, and it loves to hide in the brain. Okay, so if this is something that you're seeing a lot of on your scans, I do work one-on-one with people in the proper process of working with the body one step at a time in order to prepare the body to clean these things out and clean house and help you function better and feel better. Okay, that's going to be all for today's explanation of how this works. If you have any further questions, feel free to message me and ask. Thank you. I hope you have a good afternoon. Bye.